What's going on, everybody out there? This is Acadian Azeroth with Nerd Life Gaming, and today we're doing our roundtable discussion, and we're going to be talking about some lore, jumping down some rabbit holes. So come on, join in with us. Today we've got a few people in here with us. We've got AJ from Late Night Productions. How are you doing, AJ?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Doing great. And we also have Driz. What's up, Driz?
Hey, hey.
And then we've got Isella. How you doing, Isella?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself?
Pretty good. And last but not least, we have Malice. What's up, Malice?
Not much.
All right.
You forgot somebody.
Oh, yes, we also have Kosh here, too. Sorry, Kosh.
No problem.
All right, so today I'd like to talk to y'all about a cutscene that I've recently seen. It has Lady Jaina killing a undead dude and having Bane Bloodhoof arrested. Right off the bat, what do y'all think about that particular cutscene?
Well, honestly, the undead dude, which is Zelling, the killing of him is a little too soon for my taste, but he's already undead, so.
Very true.
But it's still too soon.
So far, I've only seen it on the Alliance side. I really need to go and see it on the Horde, because I heard Horde is much different on how it is, because you can actually speak to all the different people there on Horde side, but on Alliance side, it's just... It sort of made my mouth drop a little bit.
Yep. And where are the Tauren left with all of that going on?
You mean with their leader being arrested and all that?
Yeah.
Well, if I remember right, Bane doesn't have a successor, so right now that throne is empty. I think.
No, yeah, you're exactly right. His lineage for that is empty at the moment. It's just him, as far as
Well, we thought it was just Karen too, and then suddenly it turns out he's an act.
Well, so for his lineage, where's it go? I mean, you know, if he doesn't have an offspring anytime soon, depending on what they decide to do with the storyline, the buck stops.
I'm thinking he's going to get busted out, and he's going to turn into another
He's going to turn into a what? Sorry, you cut out.
Vol'jin in 5.
So you're thinking he's going to get busted out and it's going to turn around and turn into another Sarafang? Where he's going to get busted?
I thought Starfang
Yeah.
was still in jail.
He busted out.
Huh.
And he was quote unquote very subtly let go. Very subtly.
Yeah.
If you saw the
Anduin basically on that said, I can't fight Sylvanas on my own, so I'll need help.
and he was still on the high horse of like being honorable, you know, and I can't take Sylvanas aside because she's not honorable, but whatever, that's getting off topics. But I still think that he needs an offspring because it's going to cause an issue on his side of the scale if he doesn't. For his tribe and his people.
I mean, even if he doesn't, say, procreate, he could always, you know, pick another Tauren from the tribe to take over if, you know, he doesn't have kids.
True. But usually, for the most part, in any given realm, It's usually the offspring that takes.
Yeah, but I've also heard of instances that someone who wasn't of royal blood was picked or something like that. But I think that's like worst case scenario.
Yeah. I think you're right on that part.
I mean, we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully, he does eventually get a successor, but who knows,
So very true. Now I've got some speculation, and I honestly just want feedback on this speculation. It's not guaranteed to happen, and most likely won't happen. But what if we were to break out Bane Bloodhoof out of the jails in Orgrimmar, like we did with the other guy and Bane, yeah, Sourfang. And what if Bloodhoof was to decide that he wanted to bring the Taurens to the Alliance?
That would be
know,
awesome.
That would be definitely interesting.
I could see that happening if he's taken the same road as. I keep going back to the same vein of Sarfing. This isn't honorable. I'm not standing for what you're hashing out. And he decides to jump ship and flip because it's not honorable to him, and he's not buying into what Lady Sylvanas is serving.
The
On
way,
that-
oh, go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead. No, you first.
The way I see it, though, if the Tauren did come to the Alliance, that would make the power imbalanced because it's not equal on both sides, if that makes any sense.
Very true.
Yeah, that's true.
Very true, but in real life, how often is the power balanced for both sides of any argument?
Almost never.
Last
Well-
time the sky was purple.
Right.
Alright, said it.
Well, I was just going to say on the whole honor thing, it's honor used to be one of the big things for the Horde, and currently it's almost like Sylvanas is acting with dishonor. Like if you look at the reactions from on that whole quest line, if you look at the reactions from I can't remember his name, leader of SI7. Mantis, whatever.
Matthias.
Matthias.
Thank you.
Matthias Shaw.
Yeah, I call him annoying. I did Rogue back in Legion. Like, Rogue's my main now. It was my main in Legion, so I just call him annoying.
He was kind of annoying, but go ahead.
Even he says this is a little harsh for Sylvanas, so now it's the whole honorable. And I honestly think the Horde the Horde sort of feels like it's going into a civil war with itself. Like almost like
I
the
agree
Horde
with that.
faction. The Horde factions I can see in the future splitting into the Horde and then the Forsaken being its own little
I
thing
feel
almost.
I agree with you there. It's really becoming a serious threat upon itself. It's becoming the enemy from within. It's a terrible, terrible thought, but that's the way it's going. And I shudder to think what the whole downfall of all this is. Because if all these major leaders and these major players are all about honor, and Lady Sylvanas, I mean, starting with the World Tree, with zero cares given, it's her way or get out of my way, the greatest threat will always be the enemy from within and yourself.
I've actually played both the Horde and the Alliance side, at least of this quest line that's been going on. And Sylvanas originally said that she wanted to burn down the tree to cut the Azurite line going to the Alliance. I mean, I understand that strategically, but the way she went about it, I absolutely
It is
detest
the
the way
wrong
she did
way.
it.
Yeah, it's the wrong way to do it. I still harken back to the online comic And I adore it because it shows the love between the three sisters and what they originally stood for. The actual comic was called The Three Sisters, and the game they played, which was Two Truths and a Lie. And I'm still trying to decode Lady Sylvanas' Two Truths and a Lie. And if at all it comes into play with who she is today and how despicable she is.
Well, my fiance has been telling me a lot about the Horde side and stuff, because she mains Alliance, but recently she's been doing Horde a lot more. And she's done this whole thing, and when she was telling me about the spoilers, she was telling me about the whole, when you get to interact with the war chiefs, all of them have basically been saying this is... Sylvanas is... No one sort of likes Sylvanas right now. The only reason why no one's going down is because Sylvanas has all this power. She's basically almost like another Lich King.
Right, and nobody has the heart to challenge her, really.
Yeah, the
they
leader...
just keep saying that this isn't honorable, this isn't right.
Yeah, the leader of the Sindori aren't going to do anything for only one reason. They remember the sacrifice and the warrior she used to be before she died. Before the Lich came back. So
she was a what was it, high elf?
Yeah, she's a high elf, she's a huge strategic and everything, and that's the only reason they're not doing anything at this point.
She led their defense against Arthas.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, so there's that whole viewpoint. The orcs, the new allied race that we got, they're for Sylvanas. Yes,
Magmar.
thank you. Magmar. They're all for the Sylvanas because, well, Sylvanas is... They approve of her. She also sort of saved them from, Laurel. Can never pronounce her name right.
Urel.
Yeah, Urel, thank you. Never pronounced her name right. Anyway, so they're sort of doing, yep, she's great. Everyone else, other than the Forsaken, are sort of sitting there going, you're breaking your own laws and promises that you made. You're basically doing everything you said you wouldn't. We're almost getting another Garrosh at this
point. But unfortunately, you know, I hate to say it this way, but it's so true. The way she's going about this, from a video game standpoint and other things, the political stance she's taking as a leader is she's forcing it down the troops, and we all know, like, she's corrupted and despicable, and like we've all stated, you know, she's going about this all wrong, and I still shudder to think where she's going to take the Horde, because from a political stance, it's despicable.
She's taking them down a path that'll eventually just hit rock bottom, and they'll end up killing each other like a pack of wolves that doesn't have an alpha.
Or they'll all end up turning against her and defecting because, you know, like so many have already stated in the cutscenes, it's all about honor to them, and if there's no honor in their leader, they're not going to want to follow her for much longer.
This is true too.
Even though she's giving them empty promises, and the Blood Elves, I almost called them High Elves, are sitting in their hands, and the leader's just kind of sitting on his hands doing nothing, saying whatever, I'll blindly follow. Something's got to give to where even he will say, this isn't right, this is despicable, I'm fed up with your empty promises and shenanigans.
You know what I'm sort of hoping is going to happen? I know it's a very, very long shot. Part of me still likes Sylvanas. Like, I think she had a lot of potential as a war chief and stuff. I'm sort of hoping that Blizzard will come out and basically do a whole someone is manipulating Sylvanas.
Ooh, I have a theory on that, but that could be for another day.
Yeah, it
Oh,
Well, I've got a
this gets
theory
so
as
dirty.
well.
This gets so dirty. This gets so
I've got a
dirty.
theory as well. But first, I want to hear from Kosh and Malice. We haven't heard from you guys yet on this subject.
I really don't have that much to say about Sylvanas, but she is not to betray Varian. Yeah, only because Bolden like died, but she should have kept at least some of her troops behind to keep her.
But she couldn't.
Yeah,
As hard as the Legion was hitting the Alliance, they were hitting the Horde even harder.
That's
She
exactly
had
right.
two choices: run away or be wiped out. Run away, or Varian has a great deal more company on his way to the afterlife than he does.
yeah,
And even though, don't get me wrong, I really, really, utterly love Vol'jin, and I still think they cut him too short out of the
Yeah.
story. But I understand why, because that was to give way to her becoming war chief. I understand where she's going. If she didn't pull out on the shore, the Broken Isles of Legion, I kind of feel like with that whole storyline of Legion, and what's that angel chick name? And I can't think of it. It had a whole cutscene in Stormheim.
Air.
But
Higher.
Sylvanas has always had a side agenda. She never was really pro-Horde. She was basically had her own side.
But if you remember the whole fight with her, Ayer, and Greymane, she was trying to get the lantern because she realized, oh well, unfortunately if I remember correctly, I hope I'm getting my facts right. She's a dying breed and she's slowly falling apart. She needs that to stay alive and to procreate and keep the Forsaken going. Because
Yeah.
that's her lineage. That's her kids. Like, if she loses it, if she dies, there goes her offspring.
Yeah, that's for her. It's...
And then I have a feeling that the players playing the Forsaken pretty much get deleted. Because if you don't have the lineage, then what's the point of being a playable character?
I have a question, and some of this I don't know. I was listening to Driz. Does Sylvanas have any humanity left?
If you saw that one cutscene when you're getting your Blood Elf Heritage armor,
I don't have that armor.
I don't really know. Because of that whole confrontation with her and the Lich King kind of stripped her humanity. Like, I mean, I know, like, that whole cutscene of that tearjerker of the mother and child and her trying to save that mother and child from the Lich King. It was,
And unfortunately failing.
and
Yeah.
unfortunately failing, and she got turned into what she is today. And thus, basically, it's almost like saying for her sisters, we don't know who you are anymore. You've turned into a monster. You know, that's just the way I see that cutscene going down.
All I can see is that her with the Tauren leader is going to be like, he's going to become like Thrall, where he's going to just leave the Horde or try to take over the Horde because
You know-
she's on her own.
You know, the whole, and this goes back to like Cataclysm and the end cutscene after Deathwing dying. Of Thrall playing Daddy because of the cutscene where what's his wife's name, Agra or something like that. She's pregnant or whatever. So I wonder. Okay, so right now he's raising his kids. I wonder if he's ever going to come back to the fold and come back and don on the mantle again, and come back into the forefront of the storyline. or if he's just gonna keep playing daddy
See,
and raising his kids.
my whole thing is, back in Mist, when Vol'jin took the mantle, Varian had said to Thrall, like, can't screw this up.
Don't you dare screw this up.
Don't you, like, if he screws up, you're also getting blamed, because, like, you were a great war chief, you should have taken up the mantle again, but you're giving it to someone else. You're shaking your responsibility again.
Yeah.
The whole thing with Sylvanas is happening. We have not seen Thrall yet. And I don't know if I've missed something.
No. If you've played Cataclysm, like, and you killed Deathwing, there's an ending cutscene where he puts his hand on his Agra's stomach, indicating
No, that's
that
Alex
she's
Strasser who
pregnant.
does that, but go ahead.
Yeah,
Oh, that's Alex Strasser?
Yeah, that's Alex
My
Strasser.
bad. But the connection there is, you know, they're quote unquote husband and wife, whatever. So we all know that he's a father at this point. So, you know, priorities take place.
In Legion, you see him sort of, excuse my language, but bugger off. I was going to say something else, but bugger off for a bit. Because he buggers off, and you have to go and get him back. There's a whole quest chain where you have to go and get him back. And
that quest chain was a pain in the butt to do.
Yeah, and there's that whole...
He splits into elements, and, you know...
Yeah, and you have to go get him, everything's that, like, your family needs you, your kids need you.
His wife's trying to call his consciousness back in Deep Home to
That
center.
was not Legion, that was Cataclysm.
That was Cataclysm? Okay.
That was Cataclysm because you had to go to Deep Home.
Ah, right. I did
whole,
it during Legion, so...
Okay, so you... Okay.
I
So
skipped
you
it
did
back.
out of order.
I did out of order.
But that's because you had to go to Deep Home, and it was his wife calling him back, you know, because he was drifting, and saying, you know, come back to us. You got a family to raise, and you need to come back. You got a lot of responsibility on your plate.
See,
Well-
if you want to step back and say, I'm busy with Azeroth, because Azeroth is in pain right now, she's bleeding, all of this. If he's going to be dealing with that, okay, fine. But we don't even see him there to do anything about Azeroth.
You know, I honestly, that kind of, it makes me chuckle, and it kind of reminds me of, although I keep giving him a kind of little pet nickname, in all this, like, Azeroth stuff going on, you know, with Azeroth bleeding out and whatever, I'm surprised Diamond Boy didn't say, hey, you know, I know you're a father and all, but, you know, Azeroth, she needs you. Wake up and smell the coffee. We need you. You know, to help heal this, and because you're a great shaman. I'm surprised Diamond Boy didn't step in and say, we need you.
Some people has been speculating, at least in the guilds I'm a part of, they even saying the whole reason why we don't see Thrall at all is because the voice actor for him is gone.
Well, yeah, I realized that, and then at BlizzCon last year, he did a quote-unquote cameo, if you will, and they said to him, well, you know, if we need you again, we'll give you a call. You know, meaning if we need you for the voice.
Yeah.
All right, so without changing the subject, I'm going to just throw another speculation out there. And this one goes all the way back to Mist of Pandaria. All right, with Garrosh Hellscream, we mentioned his name a little bit earlier, and I really wanted to delve into this because he was being controlled by not controlled, but influenced by one of the Shahs. Y'all remember that, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Malevolent Force. Ugh.
Alright, so, with that being said, what is influencing Sylvanas? Is it the Old Gods? Is it the Naga? Is it the Murlocs? Who knows? Personally, it sounds like it could have ties to Old War. The old god that's in there, I think his name is Enzoth
Yogg-Saron.
or Yogg-Saron or Enzoth.
Yogg-Saron's the one in the
Yogg-Saron.
north. Yogg-Saron is the old god in the north.
Inzoth is the deep, isn't it?
Yeah, Nazoth is the deep. He's the one. He's the old god for like the Naga and stuff.
Cthulhu is in Encourage, if I remember right.
Yeah, but doesn't he have a specialized title like Inzoth is of the deep? So like, what is he?
I can't remember what Cthulhu is. It's been a while. I can look it up real.
But what I'm wondering is, was the old gods influencing the Shah that was influencing Garish? That way that whole storyline would be connected to this storyline.
I kind of feel that yes, there is a connection there, but I don't know what it is and how to connect the dots.
Isn't one of the oh, I can't remember their name, but one of the Shah actually have sort of their almost sort of have one of their own gods, old gods, if I remember correctly. Like there is a tie.
I think you're on the right track. I think there is a, all-powerful uber Shah god that would control all of them or be like the leader of all. But that would have to be like researched on my. And I mean, there is speculation elsewhere, and I don't know how much truth, if any, this holds. In connection with Lady. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I actually found out there is an old god for the Shah. I am probably going to screw up how to say this name, but it's Yashara or something.
Yashara.
Yogg-Saron.
Yeah, that's right.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, so it's
I remember it also had to do something with the Claxi. Claxi mentioned that guy.
yeah. So it's Yashara is the old god for like the Shah and stuff.
Right.
And so, what if the old gods are trying to destroy the Horde, like, entirely by corrupting their war chief?
Do you think that they, on that note that you just mentioned, that if they are trying to destroy, then the only action for a reaction would be if you are trying to wipe out a nation and you are totally corrupt yourself, that would mean if you wipe the slate clean, you are trying to build a new nation in your image.
Yes.
You could see yourself as a god.
Well,
And if that's true, then the old gods would wipe her and her lineage and everything out, or just mind control her all the way and use her as a puppet for their nation and for their
Exactly.
world corruption.
yeah.
For their world corrupt.
Though that brings up the question: if they're trying to do that with the Horde, why aren't they also trying to do it to the Alliance at the same time? Why not wipe out both factions?
Well, think of it logically. If a malevolent spirit in the real world is trying to mind control and control you to their will, and you're already like, quote unquote, mostly evil, it's going to be easier to take control of your mind than a totally holy good person.
But no one's totally wholly good in any form, dude.
Yeah, but Anduin is sort of the poster boy for paladins. Paladins
Right,
and priests
and-
and all that. So for him to suddenly
Allow himself to be corrupted.
There would be a lot of resistance there, and she's
Yeah.
kind of the poster child for quote unquote pure evil, almost.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, after all, she is a zombie,
see, my whole thing is when BFA came out, was announced and everything, we got 3 trailers. Jaina's, Sylvanas', and
Ajara.
Ajara's. However, there's only 2 zones. I can't remember which one's the Horde one. because I haven't done it on Horde side yet, but Storm Song is basically full of the whole corruption, old goddish feel to it. And that's about it. Other than the 2 raids that are going to be coming out, we haven't really seen any old gaudiness to all this.
Well, there was a cutscene where that had Enzoth in it. It was in Queen Azara. Also, when you bring Mother over to the Heart of Azeroth, so she can start to try to heal it. There's a portal that opens up, and you have to defend Mother from being attacked before you take her to the Heart of Azeroth. Y'all know the scenario. When the portals open up, those are like they almost feel like a warlock's demon pit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still, those are sort of small side things that some people would probably. On one of my tunes, I haven't brought in the other person there. I've brought in Mother back, but I haven't brought in other tunes back of my alts. But it's sort of a whole. If it's still small enough that it's kind of curious on what they're doing. And most of what they've been showing us with the old gods is the manipulation of the mind.
Very true. And my question is, where are the Nagas, where are the Murlocs in this expansion? Because they're non-existent at this point. No, I mean there are Murlocs out there, but they don't play a huge role. There's Naga, but they don't play a huge role. In WOD, there was a whole area where we had to like take on Naga and Murlocs.
And even this previous expansion, it had even a dungeon filled with Giblins and Murlocs and other various.
Exactly, and then this one they're there, but they're not.
They're in the background, not the forefront.
Exactly, where they've always been, like, pretty much in your face, at least in one zone. And this go around, they're not there.
I think.
Go ahead.
I think they're letting the 2 sides wear each other out before they strike.
That was my idea. Let both sides wear themselves out, and when they're weakest, strike. So, they have what they think is little to no resistance.
Right. Because at that point, if you're totally sapped for energy, you're easier to mind control.
Easier to target.
Not only that, but it took both the Alliance and the Horde to defeat the Legion. For Lich King, there was sort of a hint that the Horde and Alliance did a little bit of teaming up for the whole Lich King thing. At least at the gate, you see them teaming up before you go into an Ice Crown and stuff. But so my whole thing is, there's no point. Back to what we were saying earlier. There's no point for them to go after both sides and corrupt both sides. When if you just corrupt one, it'll destroy itself from the inside,